And welcome to Big C on CNBC TV18 Prime. I'm Manisha Gupta. On the show today, I will be joined by joining us now is Avinash Gupta. He's the Vice Chair at GJC. Avinash, hi, thank you so much for joining. And we do understand that silver demand is slightly on the weaker side. But what about gold demand in the Indian markets? Do you see that picking up?
Thank you, Manisha. Gold, if you look at the demand from last month to this month, it has risen almost 100% because June has been very slow, but July, the peak of jewelry demand has gone up. And I look at a better demand coming forward because the festival season, IIJS, everything is going to be there. So the moment the bigger shows are going to be there and the festival season piling up of stock is going to be there, you will see there is a lot of demand which is going to come. And I feel this is the beginning of the new demand cycle which is going to be there for gold, because gold has corrected a lot. And people are finding this gold price at almost the bottom. So I don't think there is any reason why gold demand should not go up from this side, Manisha ji.
And when you tell me that the demand between June to July is up by 100%, what are we looking at in sense of, is it about tonnages? Is it about basic percentage gains that you're looking at?
I'm talking about the percentage gains. If I look at June quarter from last year to this year, it was down to almost 50%. Now, in the July month, we have seen an increment of up to 75% of the last year sales we are trying to reach. So what I personally feel is now this is the beginning of the downfall is over in sales in gold. It is going to rise from here, Manisha ji.
When you look at the demand come back, Mr. Gupta, how are you looking at the avenues that the demand is going to come back? Is it going to be about physical buying? Is it going to be about bullion and jewelry within that space as well? Or do you think the investment demand is coming back as well?
I'm talking about the jewelry demand. Basically, okay. I'm not comparing the demand of investment or anything else. I'm looking purely on jewelry demand. Jewelry demand has been increasing very formidable, and this is a very important thing for the jewelry fabrication team as well as for the consumer. When the jewelry demand goes up, simultaneously, what happens is when the price movement is going to be there. Right now, the investors' focus is towards crude because that is giving a very good return to them, because the kind of volatility which is there in crude is giving the investors a better option or a better choice to do investments in crude. So right now, for the Indian domestic jewelry industry, we are very much interested in the jewelry demand. And fortunately, with the tax import duty going up, the exports have gone up, because those people who were of the Indian diaspora in the surrounding countries of India, like, for example, Dubai, Singapore, people are now inclined towards buying in Dubai and Singapore, which were coming to India earlier to buy jewelry. So ultimately, the jewelry demand is increasing. That is a good sign for India, because either exports are growing or domestic market is growing. Jewelry demand is the most important thing for the Indian domestic market.
Clearly is. And when you look at the month of June or for the quarter of June as well, the jewelry, gem and jewelry export numbers have been on the positive side, better than what the street was anticipating. You talked about prices, Mr. Gupta. You said that 4,000 seems like a bottom. A lot of banks and brokerages have talked about 3,500. Of course, some of them have talked about 4,500 as well. Would you say a decline is a good time to accumulate, especially in the coming months?
Absolutely, Manisha ji. When there is a smart decline, and to me, to my understanding, $3,800 is a very important thing, which I feel should be the bottom. It should not touch 3,500, but technicals, a lot of people are talking about 3,500, 3,600, but I don't see gold going down below 3,800. And that level also will come in case the war which is getting escalated. And if there is a blockage in the Red Sea, then you will see that drop. Otherwise, I don't think it is going to drop to that level. So I personally feel now this is almost a bottom, and consolidation is happening between 3900 and 4100. And this is a good sign. When consolidation happens, that is the time for accumulation, Manisha ji.
How are you looking at this? We were talking to Chirag just a while back, and he talked about very strong silver premiums into the country. Is gold also looking at a premium? How are you also looking at imports when it comes to this one?
Manisha ji, because of the difference in the official and non-unofficial gold which is available, and when I look at the data of smuggling, which is showing a lot of consignments are getting blocked by the DRI, that is very good sign, because unless and until that parallel economy stops, it is going to be very difficult for the Indian domestic market or the premiums to go up in India. Right now, we are in gold, we are seeing almost on a discount price, because there is a big parity between the parallel economy and the formal economy, Manisha.
And what are these discounts right now, official and unofficial gold?
Roughly around, it has come down drastically. It has come down to 3 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs now, which was almost 7 lakhs to 8 lakhs earlier.
How are you also looking at the exchange of gold into the markets? Because that clearly was a theme most of last financial year. Have we seen that the same continue into the previous quarter?
Yes, definitely. Exchange of gold has gone up drastically. It has gone up to 50-55% compared to the 35-40% earlier. And this is a good sign. And in case if that goes on, Manisha ji, what will happen is those people who are sitting with their old jewelry, which is lying in the lockers, they are converting it into the new jewelry of their choice, which in fact will reduce the import dependency in India. And in fact, the government is looking at gold monetization scheme, for which the industry has already been talking to the government, and government is looking into all that aspects. So exchange of gold for the new gold is a very good sign, and it is going to be a very good way of reducing the import dependency in the country, and that will help the entire trade as well as the consumer, Manisha.
You spoke about GMS, and I do understand that GJC has been pushing that and has made representations as well. What is it that you're looking to change this time around or want newly introduced when it comes to the new GMS scheme?
Manisha ji, we have suggested the government to involve the jewelers as the collection point, because the consumer's first phase is the jeweler. Earlier, in the earlier scheme, the jeweler was not involved in the collection center point. It was only the refiners and the banks. So consumers were not comfortable going to the refiners as well as the banks to go for the gold monetization scheme deposits. So if that happens and the jeweler comes into the picture as the collection point, there will be a very easy interaction between the consumer as well as the government. So that will completely change the game for the gold monetization scheme, Manisha ji. And that is what we have suggested to the government, and the government has taken it in the right spirit. But they are looking at all the other aspects to see where there can be loopholes, where there can be any problem in this particular scheme. So they are working very cautiously, and in case if the government is convinced that everything whatever is suggested by the jewelers everywhere, if that goes right, we could see a scheme coming up very fast, and we will be very happy that the import dependence of gold will go down drastically, which will help the country to reduce the CAD condition. And in fact, if this goes through, I will not be surprised to see a trade surplus which is going to be there in India, Manisha.
One final question, and when we talk about jewelry, Mr. Gupta, is it more about pure jewelry, 22 carat jewelry, or you think with the kind of prices that we are looking at, this wedding season perhaps could be about lower caratages and more studded jewelry perhaps?
Studded jewelry is picking up a lot, Manisha ji, and definitely 18 carat is making inroads, because the consumers are more interested in looking at their pocket when they are buying. So either they buy the 18 karat jewelry or they buy a lower weighted jewelry in their budget. That is the very important thing. And people are gearing up in a very strong way for this IIJS with 18 karat gold jewelry. And studded jewelry is definitely picking up because people want to have some uniqueness in their designs, and uniqueness will come with the color stone studded jewelry, Manisha.
That point is well taken, Mr. Gupta. Thank you so much for joining in, for taking us through with names, numbers, the demand aspects, and of course, the GMS scheme that GJC seems to be pushing at. Good response. As Mr. Gupta told us, we are yet to see, or the scheme is yet to see the light of the day, though, and that is exactly what we are waiting for. But thank you so much for your time today.